Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we are going to discuss a very, very important topic, which is very much relevant to all the people who are attending sessions from quite some time. 1 session, 2 session, 5 session, 10 session, whatever. And for the devotees who are chanting 16 rounds from a good number of years. For everyone, it's a very, very important session. We're going to discuss about one very, very great personality. His name is Srila Haridas Thakur. This personality, Srila Haridas Thakur, he's called as Namacharya, Naam ke Acharya, jo Naam ka prachar kiye. To a very great extent, would preach the holy names of the Lord. He did Achar, he did Prachar, both. He's called as Namacharya. This title is not ordinary title. Namacharya. And it is described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says, Srila Haridas Thakur every day would chant 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sune aap log? All the devotees were hearing for the first time, 192 rounds. 3 lakh Hare Krishna Mahamantras. Someone was telling me I chant 108 times. 3 lakh times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Doesn't take much time, only 22 hours. Only 22 hours of chanting. We chant for 2 hours. The rest 22 hours we are busy in our own world. Haridas Thakur would chant for 22 hours and 2 hours he'll use for his bodily maintenance. That's Haridas Thakur. Long story, long background cut short. This Haridas Thakur, he actually took birth in a Muslim family. But right from the birth, when he took birth, right from the birth he has been chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. People of his religion, they scolded him, they warned him, you have to give up this chanting. He said, even if you cut my entire body into pieces, every piece will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This was the mood of Haridas Thakur. Every piece of the body will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we're going to discuss about this personality. Srila Haridas Thakur was there in his hometown where he took birth in Budana, which comes in a Satkhira district which is there in Bangladesh as of now. From there he came to another place called Benapole. Again, that is also there in Bangladesh. Now, this entire pastime that I am speaking is 500 years back, which happened during the time of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is described very nicely that this personality, Haridas Thakur, he would chant, Achar was there, and along with that, Prachar was also very nice. I don't know how he would do Prachar, but he would do Prachar also. He will chant 192 rounds, and along with that, he will go out for preaching. He was doing that. But when he came to Benapole, there he went to a forest. And in the forest, he made a cottage for himself. And in front of his cottage, he planted a tulsi plant. And every day, he would be chanting 192 rounds, 3 lakh names. But there were some special vows that he took in this particular place. He would be chanting 4 lakh names, which should not get completed in one day. It will go to the next day. And then he has to continue and continue and continue. And like that, his goal was to chant 10 million names the entire month. That was his vow. That was his oath. Sometimes people take an oath. In 1 week, I'll chant 108 times Mahamantra. Yes, we have people. We have people like that. In the entire day. I remember I met one of the devotee. He was coming from quite some time. I asked him, अरे बताओ कितना माला कर रहे हो? मैं क्या? How much you're chanting? This is what I asked. He said 3 times. Oh, that's really amazing. 3 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nahi Prabhuji, 3 mantra. Very nice. You're advancing. You're very much advancing. Just compare with Namacharya. Namacharya would be chanting 192 rounds and then he added 64 more when he was there in this place. And everyone around, they got to know about this person. Everywhere this talk was there. Oh, there is a great personality called Haridas Thakur and he chants 192 rounds. All the time he's busy in his bhajan. He's a pure devotee. And also at the same time, he would just be going to some Brahmana's house, he'll beg some alms and he'll eat that much. That's it. Maybe once in a day. Now, you see, Haridas Thakur, as soon as he came to that place, cottage was built and in front of the cottage, there was a tulsi plant that was planted. Now, it is not a ritual to plant a tulsi tree. It's not the ritual. Actually, glories of Tulsi Maharani are unending. Therefore, you will see in every ISKCON temple also when we sit for chanting, we have Tulsi Maharani in front. It is described in Skanda Purana that Tulsi is all auspicious in all respects. Hear this carefully. Simply by seeing Tulsi, simply by touching Tulsi, simply by remembering Tulsi, you are able to remember Tulsi? Yes, everyone? Simply by praying to Tulsi, and simply by bowing down to Tulsi and simply by hearing about Tulsi, what happens? There is always auspiciousness. And anyone who comes in touch with Tulsi in either of these different ways which I just spoke, that person lives eternally in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha. Either of it, just by thinking also. Just by touching Tulsi, circumambulating Tulsi, it is described in Puranas, that all the sins which are accumulated, which are compared to a huge mountain, all that is burnt completely. You all will do pradakshina every day, touch Tulsi. This is something which Prabhupada implemented in ISKCON. Prabhupada is such a genius, I tell you. He took all the important elements for the sadhana and he implemented in the morning program. Therefore, in ISKCON, in every temple, we have this Tulsi Aarti that happens. After Mangala Aarti, we chant Narsimha prayer, Narsimha Aarti, and then we have Tulsi Aarti. And in this Tulsi Aarti, we sing glories of Tulsi. We worship Tulsi. We water Tulsi. We touch Tulsi. We circumambulate Tulsi. And just by doing that, can you imagine every single day, every devotee who does this, they are accumulating a lot of auspiciousness. And along with that, such a devotee is making his place in Sri Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. And also it is mentioned, Tulasi, okay, you all can repeat. Tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulakena va vikredite swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. Tulasi dala matrena, tulasi ka patta, jalasya chulakena va, and a little water. Anyone who offers this to Krishna, this shloka says, Krishna sells himself to that devotee. He sells himself to that devotee. Look at the glory of offering Tulsi to Krishna. And then every day we offer this prayer. Okay, repeat. Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prate Devi Satyavatye Namo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Namo Namaha. I offer my obeisances to whom? Tulsi Maharani, who is very dear to Keshava. Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatye Namo Namaha. She is the one who can award us bhakti to Lord Sri Krishna because she has it. She has it, so she can give it to us. So whenever you are paying obeisance, always remember we are getting blessings from Tulsi Maharani. Blessings for what? For Krishna Bhakti. And also every day while doing pradakshina, we sing Yani Kani Chapa Pani Brahma Hatyadi Kani Cha Tani Tani Pranashyanti Pradakshina Prade Pade. Yani Kani. Whatever cha, papa, ani. Whatever papa I have done. Brahma hatya adi. Even if I have done Brahma hatya, means I have killed some Brahmana in my past life or this life. Tani pradakshante. All of them. Tani pradakshante. All of them are destroyed. When? Pradakshinaha pade pade. When we are doing pradakshina, at every step, whatever papa we have done, all that is destroyed. This is the glory of Tulsi Maharani. Therefore, Tulsi Maharani is a very, very important personality in our life. And look at Haridas Thakur. The first thing that he did was he planted a Tulsi tree, Tulsi plant, in front of his cottage. And he would sit in front of Tulsi and he would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra every single day. Now, as I already said, everyone in that area, they all were talking about Haridas Thakur. They all were glorifying Haridas Thakur. And they were respecting Haridas Thakur so much that the Zamindar of that area, he became envious of Haridas Thakur. And Zamindar's name was Ramachandra Khan. He was the one who became very envious of Haridas Thakur. And he tried his best. He tried his best to find some fault in Haridas Thakur so that he can go and preach to everyone. No, he's not that great as you all are thinking. No. He has these faults, but he couldn't find a single fault in Haridas Thakur. First thing that we learn here is, as soon as we become envious of any person, remember, we are destroying our own self. This for everyone. Now for devotees. As devotees, if we become envious of another devotee, we are going to destroy our bhakti. Zyada to hai nahi. Jo ek bacha kucha thoda bahut, we are going to destroy that. Envy is such a dangerous thing, I tell you. If today we are there in this material world suffering, it's because we are envious of Krishna because of that. Since we are envious of Krishna, we are there in this material world and naturally become envious of people around us. Krishna bholi se jeev. What is the next line? Krishna bholi se jeev, not bhagavancha. Krishna bholi se jeev, anadi bahirmukh. So the jeev who has forgotten Krishna, he is anadi bahirmukh. What does that mean? He is looking away from Krishna. Krishna is here, looking somewhere else. What does that mean? He is not interested to serve Krishna. Why is he not interested to serve Krishna? Because he is envious of Krishna. Ata eva maya tare diya samsara dukh. And therefore the Jivatma is suffering in this material world. So naturally the enviousness is there in us, but then when we become envious of devotees, we are going to destroy bhakti. And here Ramachandra Khan, such a horrible person, envious hua to bhi kiske saath? Kisse? Namacharya Haridas Thakur. For sure, he is going to ruin his life. And this envy, always remember, when a person is envious, we will go to any extent to destroy that person. Any extent. Because envy means what? He has it, I don't have, even he shouldn't have. And I'll make sure that he will not have it. This is what is envy all about. And now, this Ramachandra Khan, he was thinking how to defame the sadhu. And very easy way to defame a sadhu is put him in some scandal. Therefore, Ramachandra Khan called the prostitutes of that place. And he started telling. So many prostitutes have come, all beautiful ones. And he told all of them, I want all of you to make a plan and go to this sadhu and destroy his image. Now there were many prostitutes who were very scared because they had heard glories of Haridas. He's such a great personality, such a great devotee. And many of them didn't agree. But there was one bold prostitute. She raised her hand. Main karungi. I will do it. And her name was Laksha Hira. Anyone who wants to enjoy with that prostitute, they have to give 1 lakh Hira. I can imagine the mulya of this prostitute. And Laksha Hira said, I will do it for you, Mr. Khan, don't worry, I'll do it. And now, all the other prostitutes left, there is a now planning that is going on, plotting that is going on. So Ramachandra Khan is telling this prostitute a plan. He is telling, you go there, I'll send my constable also with you. And as soon as my constable sees you with Haridas, at that time, he'll arrest both of you and get both of you to me. And then rest I'll take care. I know what I have to do next. Then prostitute said, itna tension mat lo. I'll tell you another plan. First, I'll go and unite with him. I'll spoil his consciousness. I'll spoil his purity. And next day again I'll go. So when I go next day, then you send your constable. Just give me 3 days, Mr. Khan, just give me 3 days and I'll do the needful. And Laksha Hira, she dressed herself very nicely. She was looking very, very beautiful. Very nicely she is dressed. And she was very enthusiastic. Yes, I'm going to spoil the purity of a sadhu, yes. And she started going to that cottage where Haridas Thakur was there. He was sitting and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now look at what happened. She went to the cottage of Haridas Thakur. First thing that she found was, what did she find? Tulsi. And as soon as she saw Tulsi, you know what she did? She paid obeisance to Tulsi. बस हो गया और क्या? This is called as the culture of Vedic India. Even a prostitute knows the glories of Tulsi Maharani. And she is paying obeisance to Tulsi. And there are so many great so-called sannyasis of this world who say, why plant Tulsi? Plant a brinjal tree. That will be more nice. Plug brinjal and then eat nicely. Nonsense. See, prostitute is paying obeisance to Tulsi. And then she goes and she's there at the door, the threshold of the door, and she's looking at Haridas Thakur. And now when she's looking at Haridas Thakur, she's exposing some of the body parts. And then she's trying to allure Haridas Thakur. And then she's saying, I don't know what she called, hey Hari, or hey Thakur, I don't know. But she called out. And she said, see, you're so young, you're so beautiful, you're so well built. You are meant for me and I am meant for you. I don't want anything. I just want to unite with you. Hey Hari, I just want to unite with you. And now Haridas Thakur was seeing his bead bag. Nahi mala bacha. I have to chant my rounds. And at that time Haridas Thakur said, see, I have taken a vow of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra these many rounds. I have not finished what to do. You please sit here and you hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And very soon I will finish. And once I finish, I will fulfill your desire. Now, this Laksha Hira, the prostitute, outside she paid obeisance to Tulsi. And now, when she was standing at the door and when Haridas Thakur said sit down, she paid obeisance to Haridas Thakur and then she sat down. Even prostitute knows the culture. Sadhu beta, to pehle sadhu ko pranam kar lo. And she sat down there. Haridas Thakur is fully absorbed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's intense in his chanting. He's in his own world. And Laksha Hira is trying her best to allure Haridas Thakur in various ways, various gestures, the various ways of expressions. And she's calling out in various ways, Hari, Thakur. But then who will hear this lady's sound? Because Haridas Thakur was completely absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. सोचे अगर अपन होते उस जगह पे तो कौन है? Yeah, I've seen one thing when we chant, even if nothing happens, we will open our eyes. कुछ हुआ क्या? Nothing happened. anyone who enters the door, especially during the class I have seen, and anyone enters the door, कौन है? अरे this speaker is speaking something. नहीं कौन वो देखना था कोई important व्यक्ति तो नहीं आया. This is called absorption. A prostitute is sitting at the door and Haridas Thakur is sitting inside. He is chanting and he's just absorbed in chanting. Now, Shastras describe very clearly she was a very, very beautiful girl. But still Haridas Thakur was not allured by the beauty. ऐसे नहीं कि chanting करते करते बीच में आँख खोल के. No, he was absorbed in chanting. This is called as one-pointed focus in chanting, and Srila Haridas Thakur was doing that. And now what was happening? Laksha Hira, she was sitting. She was trying her best in various ways to allure Haridas Thakur. And now what was happening is, he was chanting and she was thinking, अभी खत्म होगा, अभी आधे घंटे में खत्म हो जाएगा, ठीक है 2 घंटे में शायद खत्म हो जाएगा. And ऐसे करते 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 रात बीत गई. It was now the sun is about to rise. Haridas Thakur opened his eyes and Haridas Thakur said, please forgive me. I didn't fulfill your request. What to do? My rounds are pending. Still it is pending. I have to chant. Please come tomorrow. I will fulfill your desire. Please come tomorrow. I will fulfill your desire. And Laksha Hira, she left that place and she went to Ramachandra Khan to report her preaching activities. She went there and she said, see, I went there, but Haridas was busy chanting. So he has told, today you come, I'll fulfill your desire. Mr. Khan, don't worry. Today I'll do the needful. And again, next day evening, nicely dressed, all makeup done, very beautiful looks. And she goes to the cottage of Haridas Thakur and she sees the first thing outside the cottage. And looking at Tulasi, the immediate thing that she does is she pays obeisance to Tulasi. And then she goes, she stands at the threshold of the door. Hey Thakur, I am here. And Haridas Thakur, please sit. I have not finished my rounds today. I'll finish my rounds and I'll fulfill your desire. Yesterday I couldn't, but today I'm sure I'm going to finish my rounds. Today I'll finish my rounds. Please sit. Please sit and hear the chanting. Now you know what Laksha Hira did? Before sitting, she paid obeisance to Haridas Thakur and she sat. Haridas Thakur is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Laksha Hira is hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hearing, she also started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And it went on. Haridas Thakur is chanting, Laksha Hira is chanting. And again, the same thing happened. Again, it was the sunrise time. And Haridas Thakur said, please forgive me. Today also I couldn't fulfill your desire. Pakka. I tell you, Pakka. Come tomorrow. I'll fulfill your desire. Somehow today I couldn't finish my rounds. But I'm sure tomorrow maybe my rounds will get finished. What to do? I've taken this month. I've decided to chant 10 million names of the Lord. So I have to finish. But tomorrow I think I'll be done. Please come tomorrow. Let's analyze this case of Haridas Thakur. Please don't try this in your respective PGs. Very dangerous to Krishna consciousness. We are not at the level of Haridas Thakur. You're chanting and then some lady comes and she said, Prabhu. And you're like, please wait here. I'll chant. Let me finish my 2 rounds and then I'll talk to you. We'll destroy ourselves for sure. See, one thing we have to understand here. Sadhana of a bhakta acts as a shield. You see, whenever we see a person going for a war, they'll have shields that they wear. So from the opposite party, even if a bullet is shot, that bullet will not enter their body because the shield is there. So they'll not get hurt. They'll not get injured. Similarly, the sadhana that we do, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra that we do every single day in the morning is like the shield. See, when we go to the outside world, there's so many allurements around. It's not that you have to find some allurement, to get allured and get lost, in that, and get lost with the consciousness and spoil it. We need not find. ऐसे नहीं कि ढूंढते बैठो. Allurements will come to you. That is Kali Yuga. And in Bangalore, I think you go to any place and you'll find one. Any corner also you'll go, you'll find two. The point is, in this material world, allurements are everywhere. And to practice bhakti with this allurement is not easy. It's not easy. And these are the different tricks of Maya. She is always holding a gun. And a devotee goes around and then he looks at someone or something and he just falls for it. It's like Maya Devi has shot a bullet and that bullet goes in the heart of the sadhak, of the devotee. And done. Spoiled consciousness. Therefore, a very, very important thing to note, that how much strong is your armor, that will decide how nice your consciousness will be even after going out in the material world. And when you sit in the temple, it's very nice. No allurements at all. Because you don't have option but to look at the bald-headed person who speaks. But then as soon as we step out from the association of devotees, we will see that naturally we'll get allured, naturally our consciousness will get spoiled. Even devotees who are chanting for quite some time, they do come and report that my consciousness got spoiled when I went for this seva outside this particular place. And we are staying in the IT hub. Yes? So for sure the consciousness will get spoiled. And people who go for work, you don't have option. You're just there in a place where it's full of allurement. And the only thing that you have to do is just make yourself accessible. That's it. Therefore, it's very, very important before going to office, before stepping out of the temple or the base or wherever you stay, finishing the rounds nicely, chanting the rounds nicely is very, very important. Every time you chant, you're wearing a shield, and every time you chant, you're wearing another shield, and one more, you're making that shield thick. And then when you go out, even if a bullet is shot, you can just laugh. You cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. But ज़्यादा भी शाने मत बनिए. Maya Devi will shoot a bigger one. You cannot conquer her. Yes. So you just be humble. You should say, see, I am a fallen soul. Little bit bhakti I am doing. इतने सारे बाकी लोग हैं. इन लोग को मत बोलना, ठीक है? Outside people. इतने सारे बाकी लोग. You attack them. You leave me. There's one devotee called Sarjapur Prabhu. In one of the countries, he was working as a professor. And he has an invigilation duty. So even when I worked as a faculty, this is the most boring job I felt. Everyone is busy writing paper and I have to go around and just do nothing. So Sarjapur Prabhu had this duty, invigilation duty in one examination. So it is described that particular place, there are not much rules and regulations which are there. So openly students would copy. They would get chits and they would copy. So all the students came to the examination hall and they removed their chits and they removed a gun and they kept it on the desk and chit is there and they're writing. Now just imagine any invigilator who is going around looking at the gun, do you think they'll speak something? Now this devotee was doing the invigilation duty, he got frustrated. He's seeing them copying but he cannot do anything. Then he thought, at least let me finish my rounds. He took his bead bag and he started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone is writing and then he's going to and fro and he's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra on his beads. Now when he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra on his beads, so one boy who was busy copying, he was telling, disturb ho raha hai mujhe. I'm getting disturbed. Stop your thing. And at that time he called this devotee and that boy asked, what are you doing? What is there in this? And at that time, this devotee asked, looking at the gun, "What is this?" So the boy said, "Dikh nahi raha hai kya? Gun." And then the devotee said, "This is also gun." Now this boy asked, the devotee asked, "How many bullets you have?" And the boy said, "3." And this boy asked, "How many bullets you have?" 108. Therefore, one thing is there. We don't know when the war will begin. Therefore, always we should have the gun around our neck. And it should be loaded with the bullets. And we should be ready. We should be ready to fight the war with Maya. And it's not going to be easy. Therefore, the first thing that I would like to highlight here in the session is our sadhana is that which will make a shield around us and protect us when we go in the outside world. Contamination will come, but that shield is going to protect our consciousness. Very, very important. Very, very important. And another very important thing is vow. The vows that devotees take. Look at Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur had taken a vow of chanting 10 million names, 4 lakh names that particular day. Always remember one thing, when we take the vow, we have to follow it strictly. And we follow the vow strictly, those vows will actually save us in our life. Now therefore, everyone sitting here, we all should take a vow. Everyone should have a vow in life that yes, I'll be chanting these many rounds. Now there will be many devotees sitting here, many volunteers are chanting 16 rounds. They have taken a vow that I'll chant 16 rounds. I still remember there were times when our rounds will not get over. It used to be night 12 o'clock during college days and office days, and we'll finish our round and then only sleep. That was not true. It's a vow. We have to finish. Now we have taken a vow, we have to do it. Therefore, everyone, and especially the ones who have come and chanting 3 rounds, 4 rounds, or whatever, there should be a vow that we take. Every day I will chant minimum 4 rounds. What the bare minimum? Yes. I was telling another class also. Let's see, when we go to any yoga studio also, and they ask you how much time you can give for doing yogasanas, and you say 10 minutes. The yoga instructor will say, "Tu ghar ja. 10 minute ko yoga karta hai." At least half an hour. At least half an hour. Therefore, I always say, 1 mala, 2 mala nahi chalega. Minimum 4 rounds. Minimum. It'll just take half an hour. Just take half an hour. You ask the devotees who chant 16 rounds. No doubt, it takes 2 hours. But when you chant 1 round, it's like a huge mountain. 16 rounds doesn't look like a mountain. It gets over very easily, very nicely. Therefore, it's very, very important that there should be a vow in life that every day I will chant these many rounds. And that vow will actually protect us. Another very, very important thing, we should have this vow that whenever there is a program, whenever there is a satsang, I will attend that, come what may. Because this satsang is actually going to help us to create that tight shield around us. And that shield will protect us. And here we see, Laksha Hira, she was trying her best to allure Haridas Thakur, but Haridas Thakur is completely protected by the shield that he is wearing. And this shield is a shield which is 192 thick. Ours is only 16. 192. Huge. Huge. Again, the same thing happened. Haridas Thakur was chanting. Laksha Hira was hearing. Then she started chanting. And then finally again the sun rose. And Haridas Thakur said, "Please forgive me. Aaj nahi ho paya. Tomorrow you come pakka. I will fulfill your desire." You need to have guts to say this dialogue also. Haridas Thakur, alag level pe. I'll fulfill your desire, is telling a prostitute. Fortunately, there was no smartphone at that time. What if she records that and posts in the social media? ये साधु ने ऐसे कहा इस prostitute से. Haridas, then Laksha Hira, she left and she went back and she reported her preaching activities to Mr. Khan. She went and she said, "This person, today also nothing happened. But I'll tell you, tomorrow I'm going to do the needful." And Ramachandra Khan was like, "Yes, you can do it." And she comes there again. It was the day 3. Again, Laksha Hira, she comes there. Again, very nicely dressed, nice makeup, very, very alluring looks, amazing gestures, beautiful facial expressions. And she comes there jubilant. Yes, today I'll spoil the consciousness of this sadhu. And guess what? She comes there and she does the same thing what she was doing for the last 2 days. She paid obeisances to Tulasi. Then she stood at the threshold of the door looking at Haridas. And Haridas Thakur looked at her and he said, yes, today I'll fulfill your desire. Better. Sit down. And Laksha Hira, she paid obeisance to Haridas Thakur and she sat down. And Haridas Thakur is chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Laksha Hira is hearing. She also started chanting. Now, a very, very amazing thing happened. The sun rose in the sky, and along with that, sun rose in the heart of Laksha Hira prostitute also. Just by hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the lotus mouth of Haridas Thakur, there was a huge transformation in the heart of the prostitute. And she falls at the feet of Haridas Thakur and she says, because I have taken the profession of a prostitute, I have performed unlimited sinful activities till date. And then she also highlights saying, I surrender unto you. You please instruct me what I am supposed to do. Please deliver me. So now this lady, who was a prostitute, Laksha Hira, she surrenders unto a great devotee, Haridas Thakur, accepting him as the Guru. Let's see if Haridas also accepts her as a disciple. Haridas Thakur never said, hey, hut yahan, not prostitute. How can I accept you as my disciple? Get lost from here. Haridas Thakur didn't say that. Haridas Thakur, he said, I know everything about the conspiracy of Ramachandra Khan. And now there's a question, that if you know everything, the day one when I came, why didn't you leave the place? So Haridas Thakur is saying that I stayed back for 3 days just to deliver you, O Laksha Hira. Just to deliver you. This is the mode of a devotee. And very nicely it is said that Ramachandra Khan might be an ignorant fool, so I don't feel anything about him. But since you are coming here to my place, it's my responsibility to deliver you because Krishna has sent you to me. This is the mode of a preacher. But obviously, don't preach like this. It's very high level preaching. We'll preach to boys. Yes. We'll preach to boys and we'll be happy. Few points I like to make here is, one point is devotees are very, very merciful. They are ready to extend themselves to any extent to help us. I'm sure everyone sitting here might have experienced this point. That if that devotee wouldn't have been there in my life, I would have not been in bhakti. Everyone would have that one devotee in life, for sure. Without that one devotee in life who holds us in Krishna consciousness, we cannot be there in bhakti. And those devotees who hold us, tell me, what do they get? What do they get? Nothing. What they get is the garbage that we always give them by our talks. All that nonsense that we do, we share with them and spoil their consciousness. Waste their time. But still those devotees are ready to give us time because that is what is the swabhava of a Krishna Bhakta. Krishna Bhakta, he extends himself to serve the other people. And the only goal that he has is I should connect, or I want to connect this living entity to Krishna. Because he has forgotten Krishna, but somehow I have got this knowledge that yes, I should be serving Krishna. So I want to give the same knowledge to this person also. Let me connect him to Krishna. It might take some time, it might take some of my energy, but surely I'll do it. Every Friday I'll call every boy who is there in my contact list and I'll call them for Festival of Enlightenment. That is the mood of every volunteer sitting here. And because of these volunteers today, most of you have come from a Festival of Enlightenment. I would say that yes, coming at the lotus feet of Giridhari, you are also delivered. Like this prostitute was delivered by coming at the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. Without devotees, kuch nahi hota. Nothing will happen without devotees. We are eternally indebted to devotees who hold us in Krishna consciousness. Another very, very important thing you see, just by the association of Haridas Thakur, Laksha Hira's heart changed. Therefore, when we come in touch with any devotee, this is the first thing that we will see. Our heart will start getting transformed. And the best case study is Srila Prabhupada's association, which those hippies got in the West. All of them, they were, I don't know if Laksha Hira was better than that. At least I don't know if she was taking drugs, but they were taking drugs. They were all woman monglers. They were into so many other illicit activities. But just by coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada, all these different hippies, their heart got transformed. And what were they doing? Srila Prabhupada would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And these hippies would hear that and they would also chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. In fact, initially, when Srila Prabhupada started preaching there, Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his room and he was doing his translation work. And then those people who were coming to his place, they were looking at the wall and they were sitting. You can just imagine, there's a wall like this and there are many people looking at the wall and sitting like this. And Srila Prabhupada is sitting here. Just imagine that scene. And a reporter comes and the reporter is interviewing Srila Prabhupada and he says, Swamiji, it is so nice that you've come from India and you're doing these preaching activities. But I have a question. What are these people doing? Looking at the wall. And you know what Srila Prabhupada said? I'm also wondering what they're doing, even I don't know. You can imagine what was the situation of Srila Prabhupada. You never know, they're looking at wall, when they'll get up and they'll attack Srila Prabhupada. Never know, they're drug addicts. But just by hearing Srila Prabhupada's chanting, their hearts got transformed. Even today, when Srila Prabhupada's disciples were present in those kirtans, when they speak about those kirtans, they say that when we would sit in Srila Prabhupada's kirtan, we don't know what would happen. The entire atmosphere would change and we would enter a different spiritual bubble altogether. And that experience is something which we can never forget in our life. Those kirtans were ecstatic. And just by hearing Srila Prabhupada, the way Laksha Hira heard Haridas Thakur, these hippies heard Srila Prabhupada. Laksha Hira became a great devotee. Hippies also became great devotees. This is the power of Srila Prabhupada's chanting. And guess what? It's not that only those people had the opportunity to hear Srila Prabhupada. Each and every one of us sitting here, we have the opportunity to hear Srila Prabhupada because he is that only Acharya in the entire Parampara till now, in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, whose lectures are recorded. We don't have anyone in the Parampara whose lectures are recorded. His lectures are recorded, his kirtans are recorded. And just by hearing that, we can get purified. Same transformation what Laksha Hira got, same transformation we can get. Because I would say we are also not less than a prostitute. Because our master is Krishna. And our job is to serve Krishna. But what are we doing? We're trying to go around to gratify our own senses. And that's what a prostitute does. Prostitute has a master. But she go around searching different other men who can satisfy her and her senses. Same thing we are also doing. So our prostitute-like mind can get transformed when we keep hearing the Vani of great souls like Haridas Thakur. And in our life, that same Haridas is Srila Prabhupada. We have to hear him. Therefore, we understand here that just by hearing Haridas Thakur, the heart of this prostitute changed. Now, what did Haridas Thakur tell this prostitute? What are you supposed to do? Because she is asking, Oh Gurudev, please tell me what am I supposed to do? And Haridas Thakur's instruction, please hear this everyone carefully. Haridas Thakur said, go home and whatever possessions you have, whatever wealth you have that you have amassed by this prostitution, you distribute it to all the Brahmanas. And come in a single cloth which covers your body with your head shaved. Heavy instruction. Very heavy. I don't know if you can understand also what is instruction all about. Just imagine you come and then you surrender onto surrender on to one of your mentor and you say, Prabhuji, bataiye kya karna hai? And your mentor say, whatever amount you have in your bank, transfer it to my account. Shave your head and come in one cloth to ISKCON Whitefield. And you will tell that Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. मिलते हैं अगले जन्म में. Heavy instruction. But Laksha didn't say, hey, pagal hai kya? ऐसे कोई instruction देता है? She didn't say that. She accepted that instruction as the heart and soul. You know why those hippies got transformed? Why they became great devotees? For them, the instruction of Srila Prabhupada was highest. It was their life and soul. There will be times when Srila Prabhupada is sitting with the globe, which has got different countries, and he will turn the globe. And whoever enters the room, he would point at the globe and he would say, go to this place and preach. And the devotees would be like, sometimes Srila Prabhupada would say, go to China and preach. Go to Pakistan and preach. And devotees will be scared. But the devotees would do it. They would do it just to please Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, it's very, very nice to see and understand that how wonderful it is that these heavy instructions are taken as their life and soul. And those heavy instructions are implemented by these devotees. And therefore, the life of those devotees are changed. Very, very important. So, the instructions might be heavy, but how much nicely we take it to our heart, that's what makes a difference. And you see, even in the life of Srila Prabhupada, instruction given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was not an ordinary instruction. He is an Indian, and the instruction is given, go to West and preach. It's not an ordinary thing. Heavy, but Srila Prabhupada took it. So whenever we hear in classes of Srila Prabhupada some instructions, and you feel like very heavy, we shall understand the way Haridas Thakur gave instruction to Laksha. Similarly, I am getting an instruction from Srila Prabhupada. If I follow this, I will also be transformed like that prostitute was transformed into a devotee. Even my mind, which is like a prostitute, will get purified and get transformed. Therefore, heavy instructions are very nice. Sometimes we might not be able to handle it, but no problem. We have to accept, meditate and see how we can implement. And history is the proof that so many times these devotees have implemented these heavy instructions and they have got purified. And look at what happened. Laksha, she went and she did the needful. But before she left, this was one instruction. You go to your home, whatever wealth you have, you distribute it around. And after that, another instruction that was there, shave your head. Another instruction, come in a single simple cloth which covers your entire body. And along with that, Haridas Thakur said, please repeat. Nirantara namalo kara tulasi sevan achirat pabe tumi Krishna racharan. Haridas Thakur is saying that you come in this attire and do two things. Serve tulasi. And second, nirantara namalo, continuously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And she went and she came back. She distributed all the wealth, she shaved her head, she came to that place. And Haridas Thakur had already left that place. He didn't wait for her to come. Because he knew very well his instructions are taken it very seriously. He left that place chanting holy names and he went to another place. Now when this Laksha, she came to that place and when she started chanting, how many rounds do you think she started with? 1 round? 2 rounds? 16 rounds? She started chanting 192 rounds every day. Every day, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 192 rounds. This prostitute, she was chanting 192 rounds every day. Can you imagine that? This is called as Nishtha. Instruction is given and I have to chant. So every day Laksha would do this. She would water Tulasi, she would circumambulate Tulasi, she would sit in front of Tulsi and she would chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 192 rounds. And you know what she would eat? She would also go around begging like Haridas Thakur, following the footsteps of her Gurudev. She'll go and get whatever alms she gets, little bit, she'll eat that and be satisfied and continue chanting to such an extent that everyone around got to know that there was a prostitute, her name was Laksha, and now she has become Haridasi. She has become Haridasi. And everyone around, from different villages, from far villages, they would come just to take darshan of this Haridasi. Servant of Haridas and servant of Krishna. And she is Haridasi. So in this way we see that how Laksha, she became Haridasi. But the question still remains. Haridas Thakur had the power to transform her life, but still the thing is, how was she able to do this unfathomable task of going around and distributing the wealth, giving up her beautiful hair? Here sometimes when I ask our boys, shave your beard, they are like, Prabhuji, kaise aap kaise bol rahe ho, shave your beard? Arey idhar mundan kar li aurat. And here we think twice to shave our beard. Such nonsensical people we are, I tell you. Yes? And this lady, such wonderful lady, she took the instruction as her life and soul. And she just implemented that. You know how she was able to do it? Always remember one thing. Every instruction comes with empowerment. What is that? Every instruction comes with the empowerment, because the Guru gives instruction and he blesses the devotee, empowers the devotee, so that the devotee is able to implement the instruction. Therefore, whenever we get an instruction, we just do it without thinking, because we are empowered souls at that time. Anyone who takes the instruction seriously, that devotee becomes empowered. Anyone who doesn't care about the instruction, that devotee cannot do anything in his life, in his spiritual life, not possible. Mushkil hai. Therefore, instructions have to be taken very seriously. And look at this. She took it very seriously. Very, very seriously. And look at the transformation. A prostitute became not a one-rounder devotee. She became 192-rounder devotee. And she, by her acharan, she started preaching to such an extent that everyone looking at this disciple of Haridas Thakur, they were glorifying Haridas Thakur. Oh, look at this disciple, so wonderful. How glorious the spiritual master is. This is the success of a disciple. When looking at the disciple, when people glorify the spiritual master, oh, that's a big thing. Looking at Srila Prabhupada, people glorify Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just imagine how blissful and happy Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur will be. Therefore, every one of us, we have this very, very important role to play as a disciple. Follow the instructions properly, with the mood. Srila Prabhupada should be glorified by my acharan, by my behavior. Very, very important. Therefore, as soon as we start our spiritual life, we are no more XYZ with our name. We become the Das of the spiritual master, Das of Krishna. That is what is our identity now. That is what is our identity. And here we see, that's what Laksha did. Another very, very important thing, which I would like to highlight before I wind up today's session. The thing that we started in the start. Bhajahure mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanar Vindare Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Tarahuve Bhava Siddhure. We have got a very, very rare opportunity. And we have taken it very seriously. What all things Laksha had can we list down to transform her life? First, Tulsi, okay, Tulsi accepted. Next, association of Haridas Thakur. Third, she was able to hear the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Fourth, she got the bona fide instruction from the Guru. These are the 4 things that she got. Okay, let's see in our own life. Do we have Tulsi Maharani in our life? We have. Every temple has. Okay. Second, do we have association of devotees? Yes. They might not be chanting 192 rounds. But surely there will be some devotees chanting 1, some will be chanting 9, some chanting 2. We have devotees chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Third, do we have the bona fide Vani, the transcendental Vani of the Acharya recorded? We have it. Fourth, do we have bona fide instruction from the Acharya like Srila Prabhupada? He has given us the instruction, chant Hare Krishna on beats, follow 4 relative principles, read my books, distribute my books. We have everything. Then what are we waiting for? If her life is getting transformed, why our life is not getting transformed? The only answer would be, we are not taking bhakti seriously. We have very less time. And in this less time, we can perfect our life. Today afternoon, one devotee was asking this question. In one lifetime, can we perfect our life? Yes, we can, because we have these 4 elements in our life. We can if we take it seriously. Therefore, every devotee should have this meditation every day, that I want to take this bhakti very, very, very seriously. Every moment should be a serious endeavor to get closer to Krishna. We have very less time. And whatever service we are doing, be it chanting, be it reading, be it hearing, be it coming to a satsang like this, be it coming and doing some seva, it has to be done seriously. And one has to become serious in bhakti, or else, let me tell you, our hearts will not get transformed. Our shield will be weak and will be attacked very nicely. Our consciousness will get spoiled and will leave bhakti if we are not serious about bhakti. So in this way, in the afternoon we heard that how Ajamil got delivered from the clutches of a prostitute. And here we hear that how a devotee caught the prostitute and transformed her life. That's the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, you will find some of the other person's life transformed because they come in touch either with devotees or with Krishna. And we are fortunate. We have association of devotees and we have association of Krishna. Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Srimad Mahaprabhu ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki